So this past week, I went ahead and went to the movie theaters and saw some very interesting movies, very unexpectedly, but very entertaining. So, hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you very much for taking in the time of your day having to watch another one of my episodes of Awesome Joe's Playback-to-Back movie reviews. And today we're going to be reviewing three specific movies that just hit the movie theaters, like for example, The Strangers Pray at Night, Death Wish, and Tomb Raider. So let's go ahead and get started here today, guys, because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to these three Pacific films that are very much to where I would really like to explain everything to a T. So let's start off with The Strangers Pray at Night, and it's directed by Johannes Roberts, and it's starring Christina Hendricks, Martin Henderson, and Bailey Madison. And this is a movie that has been waited for the sequel to the original film back in 2008 for about a good decade now. And I've been curious wondering as to whether or not they were going to be making a sequel to the original because the first film really very much uh, terrified me. And these three stranger characters are very, very terrifying to many of the characteristics that define them throughout the whole film. And this one is very much like the original first one. You know, the same basic routines, knocking on the door, some strange girl asking about Tamara if she's there or not, and then you get terrorized by these three individual strangers. Very slowly, but very coming up to a climactic conclusion. So, but the way I look at it is as this one didn't really have anything new to the plate. In the first film we dealt with a couple, and now this time we're dealing with a family of four, and they're coming to this trailer park, and they and who lo and behold, the whole trailer park happens to be completely empty. There's nobody there other than themselves, and of course the strangers lurking in the dark. But the way I look at it is that I don't think that this movie had anything new to bring to the table. As much as I would really have enjoyed having to watch a sequel to The Strangers, I don't. If you don't have anything that that can bring a little bit more uh, um, involving with the first film, then the way I look at it is don't bring it at all. If you don't have anything, then just don't bring it. I feel like you only did this just to bring in the audiences and to bring in the money. So I really didn't feel like they put that much effort into this movie. And besides the fact I only knew about this film a couple of months ago, I didn't even know that they were in production for this. I didn't even know that it was approved. But otherwise than that, I mean, I don't really feel like this movie was a movie that really met up to its expectations because I wasn't really a huge fan of horror flicks before, but I'm coming to the terms of discovering that these are very interesting movies. You know, these are movies that are really putting me in a position of enjoying them very much, having a lot of fun, getting scared. And I walked into the theater hoping, expecting that this movie was going to terrify the living life out of me, like how it did with the first one. But unfortunately, this one didn't really do that well. And on Rotten Tomatoes, they rated it a 38%, and I would have to agree with that rating, but bringing it up to a little bit more of a percentage of 40%. So that's the way I felt about the film. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just pretty much below borderline of being an okay film. So what do you guys think? You can always leave a comment in the section down below. I know that there's many horror fans out there who are actually very excited to see this film as much as I was. So you can guys always leave a comment in the section down below, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this film or any film in particular. So that's my ratings for The Strangers Pray at Night. I really do hope that if they are to bring a third one into the mix, that they would at least develop a story that really did make sense, something to watch, something to enjoy, something to be entertained and horrified out of, because something like The Strangers really does have something there. It just needs to be developed in a certain characteristics of being a good film. So that's my rating for it. So let's jump on to the next film, guys. So next on the list, we're going to be talking about Death Wish. So Death Wish is directed by Eli Roth and it's starring, of course, Bruce Willis. We got Elizabeth Shue into the mix. Vincent D'Onofrio and Dean Norris. So this is a movie that has, of course, starring Bruce Willis, who has a family of three, his wife and his daughter. And he's a doctor who is pretty much on the terms of being at work all the time. So he never really has time for his family. So one night when he's gone, a group of home burglars invade his home and terrorizes his wife and his child. And so they rob the safe and all that stuff. And then the wife ends up getting killed, and the daughter ends up in a coma. And it puts Bruce Willis in a position of wanting revenge, having to find out who and why they did this to his family. So and I wasn't really even expecting for myself to go and watch this movie. I just figured, okay, I saw the trailers. Bruce Willis is really a great actor. Very recently, no, he hasn't been, but I've seen some good films back in his day, and he does a really great job. So, and I know that this movie didn't really hit high ranks, but the way I look at it, I really did feel like Bruce Willis, he didn't bring all of it to the table here, but I can feel very much that this movie was developing itself into something really great. So I had a lot of great times with this film. I really did understand the personality that he was developing into the film. But I know for a fact that they did not capture it. They didn't capture what they were trying to do. They didn't put as much effort as needed into making this a really great film. But the way I feel of it, I really did have a lot of fun with this one more than I did than with any other film that I watched within the same day of watching these great flicks at the movie theaters. And to who would have thought that this is the one I wasn't even expecting to see. So I had a really great time with this movie, and on Rotten Tomatoes, they didn't fully agree with the way that I'm talking very well about this film, giving it an 18%. And for me, I gave it a really bigger, higher percentage of giving it a 42%. So it's borderline, of course. You know, like I said, they didn't bring too much onto the table with this film. They didn't put so much effort into making this a great film. But I really did understand the behaviors, the attitudes, the efforts into this thing. So that's my rating for Death Wish. I really do recommend you guys go and watching this one. Not very highly, but if you wanted to go out to the movies and there's really nothing on there to watch, this is a really okay film to go ahead and take your time to go and see. So last up, we're going to talk about Tomb Raider. And Tomb Raider is directed by, excuse my pronunciation on this, it's Roar Uthaug. I'm pretty sure that I pronounced that right. And it's starring Alicia Vikander, who is an Academy Award winning actress. So, and we got Dominic West, we got Walton Goggins, and Daniel Wu. And this is an impersonation of the new rebooted version of the video game series Tomb Raider, and it's a rebooted storyline cinematic version of the original Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies back in the early 2000s. And the way I look at it is that Alicia Vikander does a really excellent job into acting into this film, but being Lara Croft Tomb Raider, I feel, didn't really meet its expectations. And I gotta point this out that as much as I was trying to enjoy this film, it was very, very complicated having to sit down and listen to a gentleman sitting right behind me snoring his head off. I'm like, he was snoring like really loud, and I could not believe that this is a movie that really put someone to sleep. If you're really that exhausted, I mean, bravo for you for having to at least choosing Tomb Raider to sit back and relax and pass out, because Tomb Raider, this version is not very much is not that very exciting. I mean, there's some great character developments. There's some great action scenes into this film, but I really didn't see the Lara Croft that we all wanted to see, because this one's yes, I can understand it's a character development. It's bringing this character into becoming who she is to become, and we all know Lara Croft to be, all guns and weapons and all that stuff. In this one, she only deals with a bow and arrow. And I just and there's a certain scene in the movie where she does have guns, but I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this for you guys. That's not until the very end, and it's like a mid-credits scene, and I couldn't believe it, because I'm like, I see that part, and I'm like asking myself, okay, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen within that part of the movie, and it happens to be the mid-credits scene, and I couldn't believe it. So I'll admit, I was very disappointed with a film like this, hoping that it would really, really do better, because I really did enjoy the first Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie, but the second one, I think it was called The Cradle of Life. That one was a terrible movie. I only watched it once within my lifetime, and I hated it enough to where I did not even want to watch it again ever. Not even would I even want to do a movie review on it, because it's a terrible film. And this one, it does make it a little bit better, but it's still very, very low, a very low ranking on my part. So on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave that a 50%, and I downed that one to a good 41%. So everything that all the movies that I watch, they are highly entertaining, but they have a good majority of disappointment throughout all three of the films. So The Stranger's Prayer at Night, I gave it a 40%. Death Wish at 42%, and Tomb Raider at 41%. So those are my ratings for these three movies. What did you guys think? Have you guys gone out and watched them? If not, go ahead and go to the movie theaters and watch these great flicks, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards these films, or any film in particular. So I'm Awesome Joe. You guys are so great. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to watching this video. You guys are a huge inspiration, and I'm really, really happy that you guys continue to inspire me to do my personal hobby, because I love talking about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So I'm Awesome Joe, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.